Hey guys, we're back at it again. Hopefully this will be the last video. It's the Snapper S31SST. I got a couple questions about the fuel line diagram on it from some people, and I try to do what I can to help people out. And so let's take a look. This one is the one I got to fix anyway, because you can see where when I put the new carb and everything on it, somehow I haven't looked yet, but the line for the primer is kinked. So you can see, hopefully, where the fuel ball is, the primer, fuel ball, whatever you want to call it, it's collapsed. So it's pinched off on the inside. So I'm going to try to get a best I can. The little basement shop here is all totally messed. We're having some electrical work done, so I don't have much room, but I'll do the best I can to show you. And get the cover off real quick. Oh, there we go. There's our cover, so you got the two right here. And like I was saying in the other videos, once you take those two screws out, this panel comes off, but the carburetor is also loose. So we'll get these two out, which was a 5/32 Allen head. So I'm pretty sure the line where it's pinched, I think I just have it just a little too long, and it's kinking it on the inside behind the plastic and not letting the primer function like it should. So once we loosen this up, the primer will probably pop out like like it should, normal operation. So I'll do what I can to get you a decent view of the fuel line routing that you requested. Pop up, and slowly coming up. Come on. Just trying. But let me see if I can get you in here. Guess where you guys can see it anyway. So boom, stuff going everywhere. Alright, so what we got? Let's zoom out here. Not much light. Hang on, give me a second here. I'll get some better light for you. Alright, so we'll try this. This is the top. Obviously here's the tank. So you got this one right here, your main fuel line that comes down, goes to the carb, and here's your primer set up. The one coming from the carb going to the primer is your short. Let me get one out here. So I'm going to go ahead and change this one so it didn't pop up. So you got the short tube here by my thumb, and then there's the long one. The short tube is the one that the carburetor is running to. It runs up to the short one. The one coming from the tank here runs over to the long one on the primer. And so when your carb sets in there, it's actually kind of hard to do one-handed. It actually kind of sets up in something like that. That's the problem I had with this one, was once everything is put back together like it should be, the plastic and everything's up, the tube for the primer, it was actually you can see the kink. It's kind of hard to see, but there's actually a kink right there. So when it goes back and it's all tight, it's collapsing the tube. Instead of having like a smooth run, it's pinching it off just like that. So it's not letting anything through, which collapsed the primer. And I figured it would pop back up. It is brand new right out of the package, but no luck. So we'll get this thing set back up on the tripod and we'll swap that out real quick. Alright, so here's the plan. This is by no means OEM spec, but I cannot get it to not kink. Just running the short tubing. and guarantee it's an error on my part without a doubt. So the plan is to get it up where you can see it. This is the one runs to the short tube on the primer. So what I'm going to do, I don't know if I can get this so you guys can see it, is the carb will set roughly right here. So that's our primer from the tank, our primer line from the tank. So the plan is to, this one will be out of the way of everything. It's just going to loop around and hook into the primer to keep it from kinking up. And yes, I know it's not OEM. OEM should be roughly the length of this little one, but this line, for whatever reason, every time even with it being shorter, it kinks. So it's cutting off flow, so I'm going to try this to see if it works. I'm sure it'll work. Fingers crossed. So we'll get our choke arm in place. The gasket that goes up in here behind the plastic, I'll put it in last when I put the screws in. So let's get that one ran first. Shouldn't be too bad. Slides right on. It's been on and off a couple times, so makes it a little easier. So I was saying, if you had some 2-cycle, which I got some 2-cycle oil here somewhere, it would might help you slide it on easier if you're having to battle with it. So this should be able to loop it around. Where'd you go, little buddy? We'll get it on there. I wouldn't recommend doing it this way unless you're desperate. So there we go. Make sure our cable's in place. So the trick to it is it's going to function like it should without rubbing on anything. Might have to shorten it up some. Actually, I think I will, since I'm right here. Let's take about a 1.5 inches off here real quick. Try that, because it's real close to the cable linkage for the throttle. You know, that cable rubbing on it, it's just going to wear a hole in it. Alright, here we go again. Hopefully soon we'll have better lighting down here. All this electrical work being done. God, I hope so. Because I cannot see. At all. There we go. Let's get it out of the way from the carb. Man, that's the job. Looking zigging. That should be zagging. There we go. Alright, so now it'll come down to, is anything going to rub? Oh yeah, looks like it's a pretty good fit. Alright. You guys, I wouldn't recommend doing it this way. Honestly. I'm just trying to see if it'd work. Make sure you got your hole in the right position on your gasket. In this one's case, it's down. on that screw, on this screw. Yeah, God, I'm making this look so harder than it really is. My problem is it's just really poor lighting down here. Here we go. There's that one. Okay. And don't forget you got that hump in there that cable has to go over, that piece of plastic. Alright, let's tighten her up and see what we got. Get this one started first so I can see it. Hopefully this takes care of the kink. I'd never do this if I was working on someone else's stuff, but since it's ours, I don't mind having a little extra line in there. As long as it's not rubbing anything, I'm good. So probably it could be shortened up a little bit more. Alright. There we go. You can see, I'll get you in there. It's bubbled out just a little bit, not enough to catch on anything, but it works. It functions. I could probably, actually make sure you can't see it, I could probably shorten it up a little bit more, honestly. You can see where it's kind of sticking out. It's right, just right at the edge of the tank. Yeah, and you could shorten it up a little bit more if you needed to, if you wanted to run it like that, or just, you know, it's stuffed in there, so it's not going anywhere. It's not enough for it to catch on anything, and it should work just fine. Let's see what we got. Try our primer out, make sure it works. There's currently probably next to no fuel in this thing, but the primer is working like it should. So we're good. Easy fix. Just throw your cover back on. You're ready to rock and roll, man. So I hope that is what you guys needed. If not, let me know. I'll try to help you out the best I can, but like I was saying, it's definitely not required to have that big long line. I'm just doing it because it makes it easier. It's out of the way. It's not like it's going to get snagged on anything. So, but you know, just remember, it just takes a piece roughly the size of this one, give or take a hair off of it. I just kept, no matter how short I made it or how long I made it there, you know, close to that, it was kinking up on me, and you know, having primer issues, so I just ran a long one. But I'm going to drag it out on you guys. I hope that helps you guys out. Thanks for watching. As always, appreciate the new subscribers, and we'll catch you at the next one.